Hello and welcome to You Can't Tell It, Let Me Tell It. We are here tonight with our special guest, Lily Mae Jones. I am so excited. It's been our last video. We just thank everybody for just showing it, sharing it, and just your comments. And I just thank you for just continuing to join in with us and continuing to just, support us in what we're doing. Everything has been just so blessed, and we're excited at how things are growing, the number of people that we've been able to touch through doing this. So we're gonna we want to wait a few seconds just to see if any more people are gonna join. We're not gonna belabor because we know it's 7 o'clock, and I do know that what is it, Empire?
Empire's tomorrow. I don't know what comes on.
Oh no, today is Tuesday.
Queen Sugar not coming on anymore.
So I don't even know my days because I don't watch TV that much. But we just, we're excited, and I do, while we have an opportunity, we want to again thank everyone who helped us for our Thanksgiving with City of Jericho, who donated. I mean, we fed over 165 people. Wow. We had Our Purpose come out. Several other organizations helped us out. We came in and we packed up the lunches. Multiple people donated food. We had everybody donated the turkeys. All 13 turkeys were donated, wow, plus 5 hens. So we were really blessed with having a multitude of things to be able to feed everybody, and it was such a great time. We gave out hats, gloves, you name it. We were able to make sure that
not just feeding, you actually
exactly with clothing. We're trying to meet the immediate need, because you can't minister to people when they're hungry. You can't minister to them when they're cold.
Because honey, my students always, Miss Jones, you got snacks. Miss Jones, you got food.
Exactly,
food.
because
so
you can't deal with their minds until you take care of that.
Right.
So that's what we try to make sure that we do. So we're going to ask that anybody who's watching, that please share it. Please invite someone to watch in with us tonight. I promise you will not be disappointed. I tried to put the camera back far enough because I wanted you to see these shoes. Aren't they hot? I'd never be able to walk in them, but they hot. So we just want to thank everybody again for joining in us, and please share, please like, please help promote this video so that we can continue to do those things. We're looking for sponsors, we're looking for producers to help us so that we can do a better job and bring you better quality. I might have to come back to Lily's place to do this more often, because I am in love with this wall. Because it represents the city of Jericho.
House.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to get started. Again, we're joined tonight by Lily Mae Jones, and we talked about everybody struggles through weight loss. Everybody struggles through just the weight journey. It's not even whether it's loss, just being healthy about it. And we either struggle, it's a constant battle, we go up and down, we're just constantly finding ourselves in just a position of what now? Lily has reached that point a couple years ago, where she was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so we're going to let her introduce herself and tell you a little bit about her background and the things that she does before we get into the story of talking about the weight loss.
Wow. Okay, guys. I am Lily Mae, as she said, last name Jones. And I'm a native of a small city, South Central Virginia, as I call it. But no, Southern Virginia, Danville, Virginia. Whoop, whoop, 434. Born to a very interesting set of parents. My mother was 46 when she had me. My father was 56. So what that meant was that mommy was a housewife, and my dad retired when I was in first grade. So that's going to contribute to that obesity thing. But anyway, currently I am an exceptional education teacher at the secondary level in the disciplines of mathematics and social studies. On top of that, I am a multimedia personality. You can find me as Lily Mae Official MBG. Motivational Brown Girls is a platform that myself and my co-host Amber J developed out of outrage of the many killings of unarmed black men.
Right.
But Lily Mae is also, I'm a daughter, I'm an auntie, I'm a sister, and more or less, I'm a friend. And that's how I got to this point.
Yes.
I have a very diverse background. I will not go into all of my credentials and accolades because that's not what I'm here for. But you can definitely read more about me on Lily Mae Official MBG and Sinaj Consulting, which Sinaj is nothing but Jones spelled backwards.
I had to figure that out today.
Oh yeah, and the whole Sinaj thing is because I know that, you know, in the next couple of years I may transition into another last name.
Right.
And one thing I will not do is ever let that Jones name die, because I feel like I had the best father in the world, and I'm holding on to my daddy.
That's
wonderful.
wonderful.
Yep.
Awesome. So what we're going to talk about, I have had major struggles with weight. When I was younger, I was tiny. I always thought that I was like too skinny in high school. I was I would wear, you know, double my clothes up under, because I was like, oh my God, I'm so skinny.
Okay.
So I would put like thick leggings or thick something on under my jeans. It was hot, but I would always do that because I felt I was too skinny. Then when I got to be in my, I went all through my teens, and then when I got married, of course, the transition started.
Okay.
And
well, I need to get married then. I like my transition.
And I don't know, and well, the transition wasn't because it was that good.
Oh.
The transition became because I went into depression.
Okay.
And because I knew I was being disobedient when, you know, I was doing what I wanted to do when I got married. So I didn't consult anybody, you know, specifically God. We didn't have that conversation. And we did. He told me, I just didn't listen.
Okay.
But, so I started gaining weight. By the time my mother in 2008 was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, my depression at age 40, when I found out that she wasn't going to make it, my depression spiraled out of control.
Okay.
So I would eat a gallon of ice cream a day, Blue Bunny, banana split. I would eat a bag of the Little Debbie donuts, the powdered donuts, or the chocolate ones. I would go through a bag maybe every 2 days, and I would drink a case of Pepsi's about a week, in a couple of days.
Oh, okay.
And I would lay down on top of all of that. I really didn't eat a lot of food, and that was how I was feeding my depression. Okay. Because I wasn't admitting that I was depressed, so I would just eat.
And that's what we do.
Exactly. So it just began to get, by the time my mother passed, and years later up until now, I became, up a couple of months ago, I was 200. I'm only 5'4".
I'm 5'4.5". You know I'm gonna take my half. So
I always thought I was 5'1" until I had my recent physical.
Okay.
And I weighed in at 202.
Okay.
Pre-diabetic. My knees, I have a cyst behind my knee.
Okay.
So all of this was on top of, you know, what am I doing? Okay. And my life started spiraling out of control. Okay. So at that, when that, and I think we were in the fashion show, I had to get all my clothes altered, and that's when I first met you. Okay. Because everything that was initially too small, or too big, was now too tight. Okay. And we're in the hallway, so people are coming by, and it's okay. So, you know, everything was just everything was overly tight on me. When I met you and I started hearing in the dressing room, you talking about your weight, and I'm like, what is she talking about? This ain't no way in the world this woman could have been that large.
Linebacker for the 49ers, baby. Yes.
So when you were giving me some of your history, you said that you were a normal sized baby. And then
a huge toddler.
Yeah. So what happened?
So let me demystify some things. Number one, just because she ate a gallon of ice cream and ate all of those donuts, food isn't the only thing that causes you to lose weight. Right. Because the reality is that I didn't eat stuff like that. My mother was a housewife, so I ate 3 meals a day. 3 healthy meals a day. My mother even brought my lunch to school, so I'm in elementary school eating pork chop sandwiches. So you know that. Right. So I was a little bit meatier kid. But basically, what I remember is this. Love in my household was associated with food. So my dad, for the first 5 years of my life, my dad was a trucker. He was a military man, and he was a trucker, cattle trucks, because you know we were associated with a farm and all of this stuff. And so, yes, right? And because daddy was gone all day, my daddy was not coming in that house without letting his babies know he was home. So daddy, if we were asleep, he would come in the house and wake us up. We would sit at the table with him while he ate. Well, you know he gonna feed his sugar pie and his son. So my brother and I would sit down and eat with him. Now mine, I'm like, what, 2-3 years old, I'm eating chitlins, you know, I'm killing it.
In the middle of the night.
At about 2 or 3 years old, I walked in church and they, and Miss Knight, she asked me, she said, Lil, what did you have for breakfast this morning? Oxtails and gravy. So I didn't eat bad.
Right.
We just ate real good.
Just ate real good.
But at about 5 years old, my mother put me in gymnastics. Now, at 5 years old, I could wear a woman's medium t-shirt.
Wow.
At 5 years old. But I could walk and flip on the balance beam. I could do all the stunts and tumbling. The only thing I remember my mother telling the lady, don't put my child on them uneven bars because they might come down. She's a little bit too husky. But I was active. So I didn't know that I was fat until I got to school. And kids start calling me fat. But the flip side to it was that fat was normal in my world. Because my mother and father instilled in my brother and I that we were beautiful and we had it here.
Right, so it didn't matter.
It didn't matter. So I was like fat. Oh, and see, I was that fat kid that would fry you and make you feel like you came from dirt because I already knew who I was. So the confidence was in me. So really, I kept growing. I got to 5th grade. I was the size that I am now in 5th grade. In 5th grade, I wore women's clothes, like a size 12, which I wear now, a 12, 14. In 5th grade, at 10 years old, I was the size I am now, and I'm 206 pounds.
Wow.
Now, I probably was a little bit less then because I was, you know, shorter, but I truly believe, and a doctor told me this, and I want you guys to understand this. When a baby cries, what's the first thing you assume?
He's hungry.
He's hungry. He or she is hungry or wet. So you put something in their mouth.
Right.
That's where the emotional eating comes from. Well, for me, my daddy loved my brother and I.
Right, so where the emotion?
We sat down and ate as a family. Right. So no matter what we were sitting at the table doing, the kitchen table I associated with food. So when I sat down at the kitchen table to do my homework, I'm looking in the refrigerator to see what kind of food I can snack on. Right. Well, as I grew, when I got to college, same thing. And you know, in college, you eat worse.
Right, exactly.
Because I wasn't cooking like that. Because I'm trying to club, I'm trying to party, so I'm eating on the go, eating on the run. However, I will say, when I got to high school, when I got to 9th grade, at 9th grade, I had no neck. Like, my neck was here. Wow. And I was dark all around here. Just from it, right. And so, you know, my mom said, well, maybe you're allergic to chocolate.
Mother's always going to come up with a reason as to why they're children.
And I had this one great aunt, and God rest her soul, she loved me to pieces, my Aunt Ruth. And she kept trying to get me to come to Maryland and stay with her because she was going to put me on the diet. And I was like, no. And in 8th grade is when, later in my 8th grade year, my dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And that's when I really saw eating. So that's when the emotional eating really kicked in. And so by the time I got to the end of my 9th grade year, I was probably like 320. And by the time I graduated, I was like 386. And I remember these numbers. Because I remember them telling me, you know, you need to lose weight. But the thing is, I didn't have any comorbidities. Why? Because I played softball from the age of 7 to 14. I bowled. I was in gymnastics. I played the piano. I ripped and ran everywhere. And girl, I would dance. I'd be getting it back. That thing up was my song. And I was this almost 400-pound girl that could do these full splits because my mother made sure that I was active. Right. So fast forward through college, I went to nursing school because my dad was sick. Daddy passed, and I was like, forget this. It was not until 2008 when we got a phone call in October 2008 that I called him my uncle, but he was really my cousin. that he had an aneurysm after he came back from the golf course. And he wasn't happy. He was actually a police officer, so he was pretty fit. Right. And that's when I started, because Billy up there in D.C., they had to be right. But at that point, I was at Virginia State University, and I had a professor named Dr. David Stein, and I will never forget it. He was telling me, Lily, you have a bright future here. I was telling him I wanted to go to law school. He said, but I'm concerned about your weight. And I'm looking at him like, my weight? You need to be concerned about your weight. I don't know what that man saw in me, but fast forward to February of 2009, I woke up one morning with a terrible headache. And between 2008 and 2009, I was in a awesome situation. Met a great guy, and he accepted me for me. He was like this big, and I was like this big. And he played football, and it was awesome. And I called him and I said, look, I keep having these headaches and I don't know what's going on. So he was like, well, go to the school clinic. And I was like, all right. So I went to the clinic and my blood pressure was like 220 over 110. Wow. Never had a blood pressure like that. Wow. So I came up here to Richmond at MCV and went to a primary care doctor. And it just so happened that the doctor I saw was affiliated with the Weight Loss Surgery Center. I must have been in the right place at the right time. And so the doctor said, Miss Jones, you are 23 years old. Now he was fat. He was like 6'5", about 300 pounds, telling me I'm big. He said, your blood pressure is 221 over 112. And this is ridiculous. You are going to die before you're 25. Do you want your mama to bury you in 2 years instead of you burying her in 10 years? Man, I was ready to hit this man in his face. But you know what? Nobody had ever said that to me. And it registered. Lil, you are 23 years old, and on the inside, you are older than your mother, who is basically almost 70 years old. I stood 5'4" and a half, 417 pounds. Wow. Still walking in my stilettos, fly as ever, hair done, nails done, tight. Because I had it within. Right. See, within, I was Naomi Campbell, honey. Within. And so, that day, I'll never forget it, I met Dr. James Maher. Shout out to Dr. Maher. He's retired now. Okay. And his bariatric nurse coordinator, Jill Meter, and she still works at MCV, but not in bariatric surgery. He said, I'm going to put you on a diet. Because I had a terrible attitude, so I think they felt like we're not going to schedule her for weight loss surgery because she ain't going to make it. Right. So he told me, I did, 700 calories for 7 days, about 900 calories for 14 days, and no more than 1,200 for 6 weeks. I went home that day, I cleaned my refrigerator, I ate everything. And that was a Tuesday, because it was February 9th, I think, 2009. But that next day, I had my shake, I had like applesauce, and I started to learn what the 0-calorie snacks were. Y'all, in 1 week, I lost like 12 pounds. Wow. I called him because he wanted me to lose 25 pounds before he scheduled me for surgery. In 2 weeks, I had lost 30 pounds, and I called, I said, so when y'all gonna schedule me? I said, you know what? I done lost 25 pounds, and I'm gonna keep going. Kept going. On April 20th, when I walked in MCV for surgery, April 20th, 2009, I had lost a total of, from 417 that morning, I think I weighed in at like 368. Wow. Now that was on my own, and I worked out only 15 minutes a day because he was concerned about my heart. Right. He didn't see anything, but he was concerned because of their blood pressure. Right. April 20th, when I walked in that hospital, and my mom was with me, and my cousin Cheryl, shout out to Cheryl in Texas, she was with me. And the fellas came too, because they actually spent the night with me. Because, everybody was just like, this is a major surgery. Right, it's a very major surgery. So, I got ready, it's like, hey, Dr. Maher, and so my mom be getting mad, because when I go to the hospital, I love to be naked. I love to be naked. Always have loved to be naked. Even when I had rolls hanging everywhere, I love to be naked. because I was taught to embrace all of me. So at the hospital, they said, well, Miss Jones, let's check. I said, oh, well, here you go. And my mom said, Leo, stop. So they did the little markings and stuff. And surgery started at 7:30. And I think I got into recovery about 12. Everything went good. So I woke up and I was in recovery, and I asked myself, where my mama? And when she came, I said, where's my cell phone? I wanted my phone, shoot.
You don't care nothing about nothing else.
And I know the first person I talked to was my cousin Kim, which is my mother's twin sister's daughter, who is terrified of everything. Like Kim hates, she's had surgery, and between her and my brother, they have the worst pain tolerance. My aunt said, you love surgery. I don't mind it. If you can fix me, fix me. I don't want no pills, fix me. But that day started a change to the rest of my life. So they got me in a room, and I was working for the Commonwealth, girl. They put me in a private suite and everything. But they told me I was going to have to stay 2 days. Because they tried to say, because my neck was so big, I had sleep apnea. But they couldn't find no sleep apnea. I kept telling these people, I'm not sick, I'm just big. My body mass index was like 61.8.
Oh my God.
I was huge. Man, I was huge. Huge and happy. But that day, when I woke up and really got it together, he said, well, how you doing, Miss Jones? I said, I feel good. I said, can I go to the bathroom? He said, oh, really? I said, yeah. So he said, well, let's see if you can drink this. So they gave me a cup this big full of Crystal Light, and I had to drink it. And it went down, and I ain't had no pain, so I went to the bathroom. He said, well, you were supposed to stay here 2 days, but you can go home. All right. So when you leave the hospital, you have something called a Jerry drain. And so I had the Jerry drain, and you had to dump it and measure it. Well, you're supposed to keep that until you go back to post-op.
Right.
So the 20th was my surgery, April 20th, 2009. Post-op, I wasn't supposed to go back for, I want to say 2 weeks. But I started having pain. So the first thing I said, oh, hell no, don't tell me I'm having complications. So when I told them about the pain that I was having, they told me to come in. Dr. Maher wasn't there. He went on vacation, but the resident was there. Shout out to the resident who is now the doctor. He said, Ms. Jones, you have already started healing around the Jerry drain.
So that's
why you were in pain. My skin had closed up already. Wow. Everybody in my family heals fast. My grandmother had back surgery at like 85 and got up like that.
Wow.
So, y'all listen to this. No anesthesia, no sedative or nothing. The Jerry drain was here, but it was hanging out this side. He said, breathe. He said, I need you to take a deep breath and then breathe out slowly. He had to pull that Jerry drain out of me.
Ooh.
He had to pull it out of me. And I was like, oh, he said, breathe, Miss Jones, breathe. I'm like, oh. Got the Jerry drain out.
Oh, my skin's
history. The rest is history. So for the first 2 weeks, you get all liquids. And before surgery, guys, it's a 2-week liquid diet before surgery. They do it now, different now. Now they say people only have to go on liquid diets 2 or 3 weeks. But that's why a whole lot of y'all that's having this gastric sleeve and all that mess, that's why y'all having all these stomach issues. Y'all need to do 2 weeks of a liquid diet before surgery because it's called the liver shrinking diet. I know technology is different. I had what's called the laparoscopic Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, and I'm almost 10 years out. And I have been the same weight now for 5 years.
Wow.
A lot of the women that were older than me that had surgery when I had surgery, when we had our 2-year reveal party to show what our bodies look like, a lot of them couldn't show up because they had gained their weight back. Y'all be careful. This is something else. See, there are a lot of you out there who believe that weight loss surgery is an easy way out. It's not. I moved back to Danville in 2011 with my mama cooking all that good food. I gained 55 pounds back. In January 2012, I had got up to like 261. Man, I put on some size 18 pants and couldn't get them. I said, oh no. I kicked back in the old drive and went on that 2-week liquid diet, 2-week puree, and then worked myself back up. And by June, I had actually gotten 61 of those pounds that I had gained. Wow. And now I have maintained between 200 and 210 for the past 5 years.
Wow.
The other thing is you can get too small. One thing about it, when I had gotten down to like 190 something, I started feeling sick. I had to have IV iron therapy because my B12 and iron and all of that was all jacked up. The other thing is this. A lot of the women, because you have to go through a psychological evaluation. Right. This is what you need to understand. If you're trying to do weight loss surgery because you don't like your body, and because your boyfriend cheating on you or your husband cheating on you, and you think if you get a little bit more sexy, he's gonna stay with you, you're doing it for the wrong reason. And it's gonna work for the 12 to 18 months that it's intended to work for. This is what you need to understand. The stomach is a muscle. See, for me, I studied the surgery before I had it. Because I was one of these people, I ain't gonna never have weight loss surgery, that's whack. But guess what? When the doctor told me, did I want to die before I was 25, it says a whole lot of you people out there that saying, well, you didn't trust God. Guess what I did? I trusted that God gave man the wisdom to practice medicine. And I trusted that God put this man in my life to tell me that I had a bright future ahead of me.
Exactly.
So yeah, psychologically, you got to be ready. So to backtrack, I went to the psychologist and the psychiatrist, because you see both. And she asked me 2 questions. She said, Miss Jones, she just signed the paper. She said, I don't need to talk to you. People were in there crying, and I'm sitting there, you know me, I'm sitting there like, I wish this would shut up. Just kill yourself. And I mean, because my whole thing was, I guess in my mind, I was sick and tired of hearing you're gonna die or heart attacks. I knew that my daddy's mom died young of a stroke, that my daddy's daddy died of a heart attack, that my own daddy, while he wasn't heavy, he had strokes. I knew that all of this stuff ran in my family. The other thing is, Lane Bryant, a pair of jeans is like $80.
Yes.
These jeans I got on right there came from Dots, and I paid like $7 for them.
Yes,
So I'm trying to tell you, man, being obese costs. And not just medical, it costs all the way around. And shout out to Greta Harris. She's the ED of Better Housing Coalition. One day we were riding down Hawaii Parkway, and she even talked to me about weight. And that was like a year before I thought about surgery. And she said, do you know that if you want to go fly somewhere, you got to pay an extra X amount of dollars for a seatbelt that's still on the airplane? I said, look, this obesity getting on my nerves now. But I will say this. It has been a journey. You are limited as to what you can eat. Now, to be honest with you, now I eat whatever I want to, but it's a tool. It's in moderation. Because some days I can eat real good. Other days I can't. But as it relates to reclaiming my life, I reclaimed my life by accepting that I was obese, but by acknowledging that I'm still the same person.
Exactly.
And a lot of people be like, oh, you've changed. Oh, I liked you better when you were heavy. No, you liked me better when I was heavy because I was the biggest one in the crew and won't nobody paying attention to me outside of my personality. They were paying attention to you. But see, now that the shoe on the other foot, you can't bear it. I lost a lot of friends after weight loss.
Wow.
And it's interesting that a lot of the people that stepped out of my life after weight loss, they have now transitioned into weight loss surgery. A lot of the same people that talked about me, and there are a lot of people out there who have had weight loss surgery that go back and erase all their old pictures so nobody ever knew that they were obese.
And it's not, I think a lot of people that I've noticed that have had weight loss surgery don't want you to know that they've had it.
Why?
And like it's
but you can tell.
Right, you can tell.
And let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you how you can tell. People that just work out, now this is the thing, guys, you have to understand something. I was always solid because I played sports. Everybody on the Jones side of the family has these shoulders. So I'll never forget it. I was on one of the dating sites one time, and this dude was like, are you a dude? Because you real strong in the shoulders. And I said, number one, are you a man? Because I don't see no Adam's apple. And I understand people have surgery and all that stuff, but I still got a little turkey from when I was obese, so whatever. And technically, I'm still obese according to the European ideal body weight. And that's something else you need to know. You need to understand that there are doctors who will explain to you the difference in body mass index.
Yes.
Because when they worked on my body mass index, they walked me through the steps. You have to measure your neck and everything to really see what your BMI is. But going back to that, you can tell when someone has had weight loss surgery because of the places they lose the weight. Now see, my legs have been the same size. My legs have always been this size. At 417 pounds, my legs have always been this size. When you have weight loss surgery, you start to lose it in your face. Your face starts to sink in. So if you see somebody that's lost a lot of weight and their face is really, really sunk in, 9 times out of 10 they've had weight loss surgery. People that work out and eat right and lose weight generally maintain that muscle tone. Because what happens is with weight loss surgery, you lose fat and muscle. So you lose all that tone. Exactly. Right. So for me, I don't have all that skin hanging because I was already solid. Right. And solid weight is the hardest weight to lose. That was the other thing that was against me. My muscle percentage was about 52%. It was about 52%, and that was hard. Right. For a woman, that was a lot. Because for a woman, it shouldn't have been but between about 30. But I was heavy. Right. But it was that solid weight. These legs right now, they do a body mass analysis on me. And last year when they did that analysis, one of my legs weighed like 12 pounds, I think. Wow. Now think about it. 12 and 12 is 24 pounds. So take 24 from 206. I still 182 pounds. Right. So if I didn't have these thick legs, I would be 182. And I think I carried about maybe 60 pounds in my torso. So you have to know where your weight is distributed. Right. So if you have had weight loss surgery out there, guys, let people know. And let me tell you why. When you fake the funk and the weight loss surgery fails you, well, when you fail the weight loss surgery, and you gain all that weight back, and you start getting sick, because see, what's going to happen is, luckily now they're not doing the stomach staples like that. With the Roux-en-Y now, they're doing a sealant type deal. Okay. So, you need to be mindful and stop lying about it. People can tell. When you go out to eat, people can tell when you're eating like a bird. You're not just, if you're obese, and you eating like a bird, and all of a sudden in 2-3 months, you done dropped like 6 clothes sizes, people know. I boasted about weight loss surgery. I'm telling the world, I am 10 years out almost from weight loss surgery, and I have maintained my weight for 5 years, and not because of the weight loss surgery, because if you missed it, I gained 55 pounds back after weight loss surgery. Weight loss surgery is only guaranteed 12 to 18 months. Your stomach is a muscle, and you need to study and know the biology and anatomy of your body. Your stomach is a muscle. With Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, they cut your stomach down to the size of an egg. They disconnect that large intestine and they connect that pouch to that small intestine. Because your stomach is a muscle, you can eat and stretch that stomach back out. I'm pretty sure my stomach is stretched out because last year I ate some processed fish and it made me sick, and they thought that maybe something had happened because I was so far out, because you can get scar tissue and stuff, and that's with any surgery. So that's not really a complication, that's with any surgery. And so when they made me do the barium swallow, guess what? I told y'all I maintained my weight for 5 years, and my stomach is back to its regular size. But the gastric bypass trained my mind, guys.
And that's the biggest key is whether it's a regular diet or, maintaining, doing, whatever it is that you're doing, the training to lose the weight, whether it's the surgery, everything starts in the mind. It has to be a mindset that I'm ready to make this change. I'm ready to do what I need to do.
Reclaim your life, and don't reclaim your life for other people.
For other people, that's the biggest key.
Because my whole thing is this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll never forget it. I went back home, and a whole lot of people I went to high school with, males. Oh, you look good, yada yada yada. Psh, boy, but I'm still the same person I was. Just because I'm physically appealing to you now, you don't physically appeal to me. And that's the thing. Right. But I will say this. I'm more self-conscious now than I was when I was heavier. Because I get the double takes now. Right. I'm not, you see the double takes used to be negative. Right. So they'll be like, what are you looking at? Get out of my face. Right. And they be like, why are you so hostile? You're beautiful. And I'm like, whatever. But to me, I'm not different. Right. To other people,
you are.
To other people, I am.
Because they only saw you one way. You saw yourself for the whole totality of who you are. Exactly. It's not about the size. It's about who Lily is.
And the thing is, back then, I ain't had no trouble with my knees. But now, y'all, my knees is terrible. Let me tell you something. My knees are bad, but they got messed up from years of weight. And you have to understand this. you're damaging your body. Obesity is something. But what you need to know is this. I know that obesity yields hypertension and diabetes, but your girl Lily Mae did not have any of those ailments. The hypertension crept up on me due to really a lot of stress. You know, I was studying for the LSAT, trying to get into law school, and all of that, the weight, the stress, and all of that, it put that on me. To this day, my blood pressure stays around 120 something, over 60, and sometimes it's low, and I can tell when it's low.
Right.
But thanks be to God, I have been this size now for 5 years. I love it, I feel good, and I do me.
Right.
I do me. And yes, I still like to be naked, cause
Well, let me see. So speaking of naked, since you not so once you had the surgery and you said you were 400 plus pounds, where did the skin go?
Okay, so I didn't have arms or legs, but I told you I was a linebacker for the 49ers. So I carried all my weight in my back and my stomach. Now, post-surgery, a couple of years later, my stomach hung to here and it was just skin. So what I did was in 2015, July 2015, I had what's called a paniculectomy. And with the paniculectomy, they cut me from hip to hip, and they took all of the bottom, that skin out, and they pulled it up. So girl, let me say, but I didn't want to be fake.
Right.
I didn't want to be walking around with a Nicki Minaj waist and these big old shoulders.
Right.
So I didn't let them do anything with my back or my stomach. I just let them cut the skin. Because this is what you need to understand. When you have all that skin hanging, yeast infections, you start to chafing and getting dark and stuff like that. And y'all don't want your boo nanny to be looking ugly now. You know, if you're young like me, you want your boo nanny to be cute. So, and the other thing is, and you know I gotta say this, honey, probably one of the most vain experiences I had after weight loss surgery was when I did lift the skin up and was like, boy, I got a camel toe. What you talking about? What you talking about? So that was probably the, you know, it's the little things. Right. It's the fact that I can go in the pews at my home church now and walk through the pew and not have to go sideways. It's the fact that I have a neck and I can wear necklaces. Right. It's the fact that I can get a regular bracelet for my wrist and not have to put an anklet on my wrist. It's the fact that I can actually wear knee boots now. But guess what? In my mind, I'm still 417 pounds because when I go in the stores, I go to the largest end of the rack. Wow. I still go, if I go to Lane Bryant, which is hard now. Right. But I go to the 26, 28s.
Because it's hacked.
Yep. But shout out to Shiana McLeod. I work with her. I teach with her at Highland Springs High School. But if it weren't for her, I would have never went to Victoria's Secret. She shops at Victoria's Secret now. She's thick down here, but she doesn't have any weight. So I'm like, well, you can wear that stuff. I'm not going in there. So they were having the 7 for 28, and this was Christmas of 2015. And you know, that was after I had that removal. So you know, I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it. So the lady in the store, she said, well, I think you can fit them. Try the large. And I was on the pink side. Now the pink side is the small girl side. So I said, okay. So I just threw them on the bed when I got home. And then later that night, I was talking to my friend, and he said, did you go to Victoria's Secret? He was like, well, are you going to try them on? I was like, yeah, but I ain't try them on some other time. So we hung up, and I went up there. I said, well, let me try them on. And then my best friend, shout out to Jamila, my best friend, she shopped there because she real athletic and petite. So, girl, I put on the first pair, looked in the mirror, I said, okay. So then I tried on the next pair and had on some boy shorts. I was like, wow, wait a minute. So then I got some bikini covers, girl, put them things on, and that thing was smooth. Boy, I was like, and look, my best friend, she know I'm crazy. I said, Jamila, look. And that was it for me. Right. So now every time Victoria's Secret had the 10 for 35 or the 7 for 28, I'm in there.
You know me, so I'm gonna have to go.
My Lane Bryant draws are the look. I'm transparent. My Lane Bryant draws are 7 days of the month draws. I don't shop at like Rock for draws anymore. Now I am still top heavy, so you know. But the other thing is, I can actually go into like Forever 21, Route 21, and get regular tops.
Right.
And it's cheaper.
It's a lot cheaper.
It's cheaper.
Whole lot cheaper. Once I got to 18 women's, my biggest size was a 20.
Okay. See, you want big. I don't
I mean,
consider big.
that's not considered big, but when you've never been that heavy, it's big and it's overwhelming.
I got you.
And then I do, and I started. It was like, okay, now I'm depressed because I'm big. It's like, what do I do? I can't fit in.
And see, I think that's another thing, guys. I need you to understand something. When you go from being small to large, you appreciate and start to respect big girls.
Yes.
Because I see a lot of girls that I went to high school with who compliment me, who are the same girls that used to talk junk about me. But now I'm like, you a little heavy, baby. But I'm not going to throw that shade at them because I understand.
Right.
But I look at a lot of girls and I just be like, what the world?
Right, because
and they don't know how to deal with it. I know how to deal with it.
Right, our younger generation, and it's wonderful to be confident. It's wonderful, and we should always be confident in our size and regardless of our size, because it's the person that you are on the inside. And when I see some of our younger girls, and I'm like, okay, what happened? Because we're told different generations. We were taught, how to put it into a package that nobody
can see. We got no daddies. I'm gonna be real. My daddy and my mom, but mostly my daddy did it because my daddy was the first man I ever loved, and then my brother. Although my brother picked on me, but that was love.
Right.
My brother loved the essence of a BBW. His wife is a BBW. He loves the essence and he embraces plus size women, but that's all you around all your life.
Right.
And one thing, like, he would not let anybody pick on me. But then I wouldn't let nobody pick on him either because he's a big man.
Right.
And my daddy, I was his princess, I was his sugar pie. I look beautiful. Don't you go out this house with no rag on your head. Your hair need to always be done. It does something to a woman when her daddy takes pride in what she looks like.
And we do. We miss that because I had my dad part of, when I was 6, and then after that, my dad and I didn't get back in probably I was 15. So by then I was driving, and my mom gave me the option that, if he wants to have a relationship with you, you're fine.
Yeah.
We can do whatever. But I still didn't have that instilled, my brother, I will give my brother was awesome with making sure that, because I told you I always felt like I was skinny. My brother was like, girl, you are so heavy, you're thick, you're solid weight. And he picked me up one day and he was like, I had no idea, because I hurt myself at track. And he was like, I had no idea you were this heavy because you conceived.
Because people tell me all the time, I didn't know you was that big. But
you know how to put, it's like even now, no one would ever have known that I was 202. 202.9.
Well, I would, because girl, I'm trying to tell you.
Well, I am not that anymore.
Well, I will tell you this, and shout out, because now, the only thing that I will say that I lost everything. One thing, and that's the thing with the weight loss surgery.
I ain't lost nothing.
I ain't got none of these, and I wanted me a big old ignorant booty. I wanted me one of them big old ignorant booties. So I said that if I don't have any babies before I turn 40, because I'm going all the way. My mama had me at 46, so I know we got some good rooms in my family. So if I don't have no babies before I turn 40, I'm gonna let them take all this out, put in the booty. I'm gonna be walking around with a big old ignorant booty.
Oh, you gonna be a nigga?
Yeah, I'm gonna go around. But see, it's gonna fit me because I'm gonna still have a little chunk in this here. I don't want to take it all, but seriously.
And the ones who have it wish we could
downsize
over here. That we could do something to make it a little bit
and this is the problem I have though. I have these big thighs, but like this is a size 14 in jeans, and see, but I have to still get like 14s because my thighs, but they like them thighs too, girl. These thighs save lives, child. They save lives, honey.
But what advice would you give somebody that as you said, first of all, it has to be a mindset.
It does.
And you have to do it for yourself. That is number one. If you decide that you want that gastric surgery,
Yeah, grew and wide, laparoscopic. Because they do so many to sleep.
Right, they got
Stay away from the lap band, because anything that you gotta adjust, you don't need.
And they have like the balloon now or something.
Stay away from anything that you gotta adjust.
Oh,
If you wanna bypass, have the grew and wide gastric bypass, because you ain't got time.
So, your first thing is to make sure that your mindset is right.
Yes.
The second thing is to make sure that you're doing it for yourself.
Yes.
Nobody else. That even that you're doing it because of for health reasons or whatever. You just want to change who you are on the outside, but remain who you are on the inside.
That's right.
What would you suggest to, or you already suggested the gastric center to go to. But what would you tell people if someone came to you and was that size?
I would tell them, number one, research the surgery. Research the different types of surgery and see which one fits best for you. Secondly, research doctors.
Right.
This is the thing that gets me. We look for cause. We shop for cause, but we don't shop for doctors. Lily may shop for doctors.
I shop for my doctor.
So I shop for doctors.
And I interviewed her.
Shop for your doctors, and make sure you get the perfect doctor, because nobody is perfect, but I can honestly say Dr. Maher helped me save my life. The other thing is you need to talk to people about it. You don't realize how much damage you do going around trying to hide that you've had surgery. You go into depression when you hide it, because that's when you start messing with your own psyche.
Right.
So what you don't realize is you almost become schizophrenic trying to live a lie. And that's what I try to tell people. You have to make sure that your psyche is prepared for this surgery, because this surgery changes your whole life. You will lose people, but like my mom told me, those people were never for you anyway.
Exactly.
They were happy for you as long as they thought
right,
that
because you were basically under them in
their mind. Yeah, and I used to be like academically. Physically, you might be under you, but academically,
got you.
Okay, but let's focus. Okay. But yeah, talk to people about it. Talk to people that have had the surgery. Get in a support group. One of the major things is just making sure that you are doing it for you.
Right.
Doing it for your health. If you are insecure about your weight, you got to build that confidence before you have surgery, because the surgery is not going to help your confidence. Because if you already jacked up on the inside, you're going to still be jacked up if the surgery doesn't turn out like you think it will. Because trust and believe, you can gain that weight back.
And it's not
and it's a high-risk surgery.
Yeah, it's a very high-risk surgery. You have to have a great support team.
You do.
You have to have somebody that's going to support you every step of the way, that's going to push you. Like, even with the journey that I'm on.
Because you got to exercise. People think that you can just have surgery and that's it.
No.
Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I don't go to nobody's gym right now, but by me teaching, that school is 3 miles if I walk the whole school, which I walk the whole school.
Right.
So by me teaching, I'm constantly moving, so I'm getting my steps in. But the reality is that weight loss surgery is major. It's major.
Right.
And it's something that you have to be prepared for. So by all means, I advocate for weight loss surgery. If you feel like you need it, have it. Do it. But do it for the right reason and make sure that you do your research.
Absolutely. And that's with anything. You got to research.
Yeah.
You have to research anything and everything. And I told you, I researched my doctor. I went in and I sat down when I made my first appointment for my PCP, because I had been with my PCP for 15 years.
Wow.
And because I changed insurances, I had to change doctors. Ticked me off. So I go into the doctor's office, and I love my doctor. Shout out Dr. Campbell at Bonsecourt Family Medical Center.
I'm just an MCB girl.
I love my doctor. She's just absolutely wonderful.
Okay.
But when I went in, I didn't see her initially. I saw another doctor, and she came to talk to me. She was like, "Oh, what are we here for? Oh, we're here for an interview today, honey." And she looked at me like, what? And I said, I read your bio, I read all your information, but now I need to know you. I need to know who's going to be touching me, who's going to be doing what. I need to know your skill set. You need to know it all. How you doing in school? I need to know all of it. So then when I met Dr. Campbell, I ended up switching to Dr. Campbell for whatever reason. But Dr. Campbell did the same thing, and I said, "Oh, honey, let me see. This is what I know about you. Let me tell you what the questions I have, what I need, what I need." And we sit, and I asked to be the last patient of the day.
So you have all
so
the
I
time
had, because
see, I want to be the first because I need to catch you when you're on your A game.
We are crazy because we get that laughing, talking about anything and everything, and that's the type of doctor
and that's what my doctors, any doctor I've ever had, say, I wish that all my patients were like you, even down to when I had the cosmetic surgery. Dr. Lupus, Dr. Daniel Lupus, you got that thing tight. Honey, when I show people, because I really I wouldn't dare show y'all because that would be porn, but when I show people my incision, you can't even tell that I was cut. And I was cut from hip to hip.
Wow.
And believe it or not, I drove the next day because my mama didn't want to get on 95 and I got sick of going through all the streets. I said, Mom, let me drive. I didn't take not a pain pill.
Wow.
I didn't even get the Percocet filled.
Wow.
I don't believe in pain medicine.
Wow. And that's the good thing because a lot of with the major surgeries, people end up, that's when we go into our addiction. People end up using that and it goes on and on and on.
I refuse to use it.
So that's great. I'm just proud of you.
Thank
I mean, just
you.
seeing you and having met you and watching you. This woman's a model. She models. Proudly, I think I saw you on one in Danville. Did you do a
Danville Fashion Week. Shout out DFW. Oh yeah, honey. One thing about it, we went Mom, my best friend and my best friend Chelsea, she plus size too. We had on our real two pieces. We had on our real two pieces because you have to love the skin.
You have to love the skin regardless.
Now, I will say some stuff I still won't wear because I am going to be somewhat conservative.
But regardless of, whether you're vegan, not all of us.
Yeah, because some people
conscious.
I want you to embrace, but
know what works for you.
Yeah.
Everything is not for everybody. Just because they sell it in the store does not mean that you're supposed to put it on. I'm not looking, and that's in plus section, any section.
Yeah. Because I be seeing some little small ones with these pudges.
Yeah. But you see, even those that, that's what I'm saying, you see the young girls now, and I'm like, and you got the stomach all out, and I'm sitting here trying to put the spank on, trying to hold stuff in. And it's like, okay,
I see it.
I embrace, you in high school. I'm all for embracing. But
you gotta be a little minded.
It also has to be a taught thing as well, because a lot of us aren't, young girls aren't taught. How to really carry yourself.
This is my rule. If I'm showing a whole lot of legs, I'm going to cover my top.
Right.
If I'm showing shoulders and all that, I'm going to cover my bottom. So my rule is I can't give you the whole me. I can give you half of me. And so that's my rule. That's how I got it.
And I'm just like conservatives.
You are. I got that little people, but you see I'm fully covered tonight though. But this is how I wore this to work. And teaching high school.
Yes,
fresh.
You have to be.
I gotta be looking like somebody grown up.
Yeah, exactly. So does anybody have any questions or
Shout out to our engineer Lindsay. She is awesome. Lindsay Wagner. She is a sweetheart. Please check her out on Facebook too. She has a lot of service offerings. A very sweet young lady, Lindsay Wagner.
And she will tag herself into this video
so
that we know. Just type your name in, and then people can go to you. So
I call her white chocolate.
White chocolate. So I'm going to be tapping into some of her services. We're just thankful for her. She's been on it with responding. I've been halfway because I can't see that far, so we've been trying to make sure.
But I see Angela though. I don't have my glasses on, but I see Angela Edmondson Roberts.
Okay. Hi, Angela. So if anybody has any questions, you can always hit Lily up, ask her questions. If you want to, you don't want to ask them in the feed, you can talk about them later or go, inbox her later. Whatever it is, she's, as you see, she's very transparent. If there's something that you want to talk about that you want to share, because the whole purpose of You Can't Tell It, Let Me Tell It is about sharing a story.
Yes.
Because I can't tell Lily's story because I haven't walked in her shoes. I haven't been to that point. I can't tell, an addict's story because I haven't been there. Whatever it is, it's not just about a testimony, it's about where you are right now. What do you have to tell that somebody can be helped, somebody can be delivered, somebody can be set free? That's our whole purpose. We just want to be able to let others know that I can tell it like he can tell it, and she can't tell it like I can. So if you have a story, please contact me. Hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on Twitter. hit me up anywhere. Go to our website, www.cityofjericho.org. Contact me at Donna Banks Tucker on Instagram and on Twitter. We just want to be a vessel. We just want to be a light. We want to be whatever you need us to be to make sure that we're getting communication out to others, to let people know that this is about real talk. We're in a world now. We do not have time to sugarcoat stuff. We don't have time to play around with stuff. We just need to be real.
Because I'm going to stay up all night until this Alabama election is over.
And that's the thing, we have to be abreast on things that are happening, that are going on in our community, not just in our community, but in our world. We have to know what's happening.
And people need to be fighting for CHIP insurance because, guys, children who cannot get Medicaid but who have working families, if you are in a family of 4 and you make less than $40,000 a year, your kids can get Famous or Famous Plus. Famous Plus is Medicaid, but Famous is a type of insurance where your child may have a $2 or $5 copay, but it's state insurance through the CHIP program. CHIP is in threat of being cut in January. I used to work for the CHIP program, and I signed up gobs of kids and families, people who never thought. There were teachers whose kids were able to get CHIP because of the teacher's salary. So y'all need to get on this thing. All y'all talking about, I'm not political, I don't vote.
It's not about
y'all need to understand, when you don't vote, you hurting your own kids.
You're hurting, you're hurting our world, because those are the things that we're dependent on. Anything that's going to help push us forward and help keep us out of the poverty and off of the poverty line, keep us out of being starving and homeless. Those are things that
healthcare is major, and health insurance is even.
I mean, I looked at trying to do my health insurance this year, and just for me, because I'm single, no children, was $488 a month just for me. That did not even include dental and vision.
Whoa.
So why is it important to vote? Because of that. Everybody doesn't have children, and we don't get the benefits of having having children and getting the discounts and getting the. So it's important to vote for those reasons, because middle class people have the same rights as lower class. We deserve the same type of insurance, if not better. The same equal that everybody else is getting, and we're basically paying for.
Exactly.
So let me ask you, speaking on insurance, did your insurance cover the surgery?
They did. Commonwealth of Virginia. Now it's harder.
Okay.
Now it's harder, but they did cover it.
Okay.
They did.
Okay.
Yeah. I had COVID care.
Yeah.
I think they did away with COVID care now.
Yeah, they did away with it.
And Anthem Health Keepers, they ain't doing nothing. So yeah.
So, but if there's a way, there's a way. If it's surgery is meant for you, and and we just ask you to, if you are at what is considered morbidly obese, and you are going through some health conditions, or you're just going through some type of things.
The criteria is if you have a body mass index of 30 to 35 with the comorbidity, you'll be approved. But if you have a body mass index of 40 or above, you good. But once again, depending on your insurances have group exclusions, because Anthem covers it, but if your group, like I work for in Rifle County, at the time when I was in Danville Public Schools, they didn't cover the cosmetic piece.
Okay.
Because I had it under another plan.
Right.
So you have to check all the exclusions, even if it's a medical necessity. If you have a group exclusion, it doesn't matter. So it's funky. You have to research insurance, you have to research surgery, doctors, and everything. You have to research. Yeah.
So you need some help with that research? Contact
Sanaj Consulting will help you.
We'll help you. So we thank you for joining us on tonight, and we pray that your day will be blessed. We pray that we won't see you again before Christmas. So we wish everybody a very Merry Christmas.
We pray Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We do pray that we will not get so caught up on the commercialization of Christmas, that we will remember the reason for the season, that it is just being, if you can't buy your kids anything, give them the one thing that no amount of money could ever give them, and that's love. That's a hug. That's being supportive. That's just letting them know that no matter what, we have your back. So we just ask, don't go broke on Christmas,
No.
because you still have to live in the new year. Go broke doing those things that, you know, I don't want you to go broke anyway, but when I say go broke with your emotions. You know, give them everything that you have to let them know it's not about the things, but it's about what I can give you that will last you a lifetime. So we just pray that you would have an awesome Christmas, and we will see you in the new year. God bless.
Bye-bye.
We got to end it.